so we're going to get started. Today is March 19th, 2015. This is the second installment of AMP University. Today's topic is going to be Phoenix Gold, high performance car audio. Along with me, well, I am Jeff Smith, Director of Training for AMP of America. Along with me is John Catalano, who is the brand manager for Phoenix Gold and also Stinger for our company. Say hello, John.
Hello, everyone.
Let's get started. Sorry for being late, guys. We had a little technical issue that we finally had to get worked out. So what AMP University is, for those that did make it around the first go around, we actually have a YouTube channel and a Vimeo channel set up so that anytime we want to present you guys products from AMP of America, these webinars that we will host every month will be stored on these sites so you can go back and review them. The last one we did, well, the first one we did last month was on the PAC Radio Pro devices. And like I said, this month we are doing Phoenix Gold. So let's talk Phoenix Gold. Everyone that knows Phoenix Gold from the legendary amplifiers, the limited editions, the first company to ever come out with high performance car audio wiring, the gold distribution blocks, battery terminals, and things like that. We still have a lot of the legendary features and technology from Phoenix Gold, even in today, 30 years later. John Catalano, along with Morgan West and a few others in our product and engineering department, ensure that our Phoenix Gold products still hold up to that legendary Phoenix Gold name. So currently, in 2015, the offering from Phoenix Gold are 4 different product lines. Today, we're going to kind of focus on the amplifier section of Phoenix Gold and talk mainly about our system amplifiers, our 5-channel amplifiers, because nowadays, most times we see that dealers are trying to do an entire system for either a price point for a customer or either for the size of installation or performance, where multiple amplifier installations either price-wise aren't a thing that the customer wants, or they're just trying to get the most they can in a single footprint package. So what we're going to focus on today are all of our system amplifiers from the Phoenix Gold brand, from our RX series all the way up to our top Elite series. And we're also going to talk about a few new projects we just released and also some of the things that are going to come down the road from Phoenix Gold. So starting off, we're going to look at our Elite 5. The Elite series of amplifier is our top of the line, and it is elite, just as the name says. This is a line of amplifier that is truly a reflection of where Phoenix Gold came from in the past. This amplifier, if most of you guys are familiar with older Phoenix Gold, this is going to be very similar to the older MPS series and MS series amplifiers. A lot of the same components that were derived back then carry forward in designs, but we also have updated these amplifiers so that they have the newer components that are available, such as the sync and high output devices, Burr-Brown op amps, and things like that that were not available back in the late 80s, early 90s when Phoenix Gold amplifiers were first being developed. So the Elite 5 is the multi-channel amplifier in the Elite series. You're talking about a Class AB hybrid amplifier. The reason we call it a hybrid is because it is, the front 4 channels are Class AB topology and the 5th channel is Class D. Now because of that, this allows the amplifier to be extremely efficient on the sound quality side of things for your front 4 channels. And then the sub-channel is going to be able to produce upwards of 1100 watts at a 1 ohm load. All of these amplifiers in the Elite series, there are a total of 4 different models. There's a 5-channel that we're talking about now, a 2-channel, a mono block, the Elite 1, which is a monster, and then also the Elite 4 4-channel. All these amplifiers feature massive power supplies like Phoenix Gold has always been known for. the power supplies are all unregulated hand-wound power supplies. All of the multi-channel amplifiers feature the triple Darlington output array, which have been synonymous along with bipolar outputs for extreme high-quality sound and performance from Phoenix Gold's amplifiers. Getting more into the crossover section of these amplifiers, you're going to find sealed aluminum shaft potentiometers with adjustments that are above and beyond what most amplifiers had back in the day when Phoenix Gold first came around. You're going to find that the crossovers are extremely detailed now, with the 41 detents for every exact frequency that is available for these crossovers, whether it's going to be a high pass application, low pass, or band pass. We also have subsonic filters that are detented, so you make sure you get that same exact point for your subsonic filter. Inside each manual for the Elite amplifiers, you also have a chart that shows you exactly how many clicks will represent what particular frequency. That way you are dead on accurate for when you want a specific crossover point. Along with that, you're going to also find on the side of the amplifier an adjustment for variable phase. We offer variable phase adjustment on all of our monoblocks and all of the 5 channels, so that you can actually dial in your subwoofer's output in the vehicle to match the actual phase output or your output of your front and rear speakers in the vehicle. That way, once you align those two together, you're going to have a solid impact and move that bass sound or bass impact from the rear of the vehicle to the front to give you that solid, well-rounded soundstage. Some of the options added into this amplifier also are clip indicators. As you're setting up your amplifier, we'll talk about this a little bit further down the line, we actually include clip indicators to let you know when you're setting your gains properly. And we also have a chart to show you how to set the gains properly in all of the Phoenix Gold amplifiers. The heatsink of these amplifiers are also built in a way for a smooth finish. Unlike the older fin style amplifiers of the past, you have internal fins that have a channel along the bottom of the amplifier for cooling. Also, some of the Elite amplifiers also have internal cooling fans so that you can keep the amplifier cool, and there's a switch on the side that will allow you to either leave the amplifier on, turn it off, or set it into auto mode. When it's in auto mode, the amplifier will actually allow the fan to spool up and down and turn off and on according to its internal temperature. Every amplifier from Phoenix Gold currently has an option for an RMD. An RMD is a remote monitoring display. This is a voltmeter that will tell you what the power supply voltage in the amplifier is reading from your car. All of the monoblocks and 5 channels also come with a remote sub-level control. The sub-level for the Elite amplifier is a little bit different from the others, as it gives you a volume knob along with a power indicator to let you know when the amplifier is off or on, along with a clip indicator light directly in the front. So that way, as you're beating on your system or enjoying your music, you know exactly how hard you're pushing it according to how long that clip light is illuminated. Let's take a look inside the Elite amplifiers so you can see exactly what the quality of these amplifiers goes into. So we talked earlier about the sync-in output devices. So the sync-in output devices are located here along the outside edges of each one of these circuit boards of the amplifiers. These output devices play a key part in the amplifier being able to produce the amount of power that it does. If you look at the upper left-hand corner of the screen of the slide, you see these are output devices from lower model amplifiers and different manufacturers. So we actually go a step higher for the Elite series amplifiers and put the best output device that we can find available in these amplifiers. If any of you guys are big home audio guys, you'll find that sync and output devices are very well known in the home audio land. A lot of cardio amplifiers don't currently even use this because it's so expensive to put these into amplifiers. All of the op amps used in the Elite amplifiers or Burr Brown op amps, and they're used in conjunction with the monolithic capacitors to make sure that the incoming signal is fed through these devices and is processed through the amplifier to make sure that signal is as pure as possible. You're going to get frequency extension well above 20K when you use such high-end components like these monolithic capacitors and Burr Brown op amps. Got anything you want to add, John?
The frequency response is actually extends from 10 to 50K. So the reason that is so we have full flat response all the way out past the listening spectrum, which is 20 to 20. So a lot of amps might show, plus or minus 3 dB, 20 to 20, but in reality they're 12 dB down from flat at 20 hertz because they've already started to roll off because their output devices are inferior. We didn't want that to happen. We wanted a flat response. It's actually plus or minus 1.5 dB from 20 to 20K, and it's basically a ruler flat, and it also extends well past that, and that's how we're able to achieve it by having the frequency response extend past that, so we're able to have no roll off in the audible range.
Right. So for the real extreme sound cue guys out there, I mean, these are the amplifiers from Phoenix Gold that you really would want to look at for your customers that are either what we like to call audio snobs or the purists, the guys who want the best sound that's possible. And we still have that high-end offering from Phoenix Gold today. Some of the other features inside the amplifier are going to be the dual power supplies that are hand wound, and the power supplies are always overbuilt. The power supplies are always overbuilt in each amplifier. So look at it like this. A 2-channel Elite amplifier has dual power supplies. You have a separate power supply for left and a separate power supply for right. Okay, so it's like a dual mono design. When you go into the Elite 4, you have dual power supplies in that model also. That's going to be a power supply for front and a power supply for rear. When you go into the Elite 5, the 5-channel amplifier we're discussing today, you actually have 3 independent power supplies. You're going to have a power supply for front, a power supply for rear, and because the subchannel is Class D, you have a 3rd power supply strictly for the subchannel. So this is going to ensure that you don't have power robbing from any particular channel to another, and make sure the amplifier makes the most power possible without compromising any of the other channels in the amplifier. Talking 4-layer circuit boards. Unlike some of the older circuit boards, we don't do the gold circuit board that everyone knew Phoenix Gold for back in the day. Amplifier technology's changed a bit, and so has pricing, so the gold is kind of not a feasible option for today's amplifiers. Do you want to add anything to the Elites before we go on?
So you don't get distracted by the questions.
All right. You want to add anything else before we go on for the Elites?
No, I think you covered it. It's really the pinnacle of what amplifier sound quality can be. I mean, it is what it says. It's the Elite.
It's the Elite. All right. So moving down to the next stage of amplifier, we're going to get into the TI or the Titanium series of amplifier. The Titanium line of PG has been around for many years, and we continue it on till today. The 5-channel amplifier in the TI series is going to be the TI2 1605. Now this amplifier is truly the highlight of what we like to call our normal everyday price amplifiers, because this amplifier is built in such a small footprint and produces so much power and has a lot of features built into it above and beyond what most of the competition are doing currently. This particular amplifier is 125 watts by 4 at 4 ohms on the front 4 channels, and is 800 watts on the sub channel at 2 ohm mono, where most of the other competition's amplifiers in this price point are going to be 100 watts by 4 on the front 4 channels and only 500 to 600 watts on the sub channel. We make sure that we give you that classic Phoenix Gold power and sound quality and build that's going to outperform any of the other amplifiers in its price point. giving you a dollar per watt ratio above and beyond what the competition's doing. So let's talk about the internals of the TI2 1605. This is a high efficiency Class D topology amplifier. You're still going to have a lot of the features that carry over from the Elite series of amplifiers. You're going to have the overbuilt power supplies. You're going to have the same sealed shaft potentiometers with the detented crossover points. You're going to have a crossover that's capable of high pass, low pass, or band pass capability. The variable phase on the subwoofer channel, along with subsonic filter. Subsonic filter, along with variable phase, like I mentioned previously in the Elite amplifier, are very important features because when you guys are building vented enclosures or bandpass enclosures and things like that, you want to make sure you set these features up so that your customers don't destroy their subwoofers. A lot of guys are doing active systems, just like previously in the Elite 5, the TI2 1605 can do the bandpass for active systems so that you can do a direct two-way system from a single 5-channel amplifier. The components inside the TI2 are still audiophile grade. We're using the NJ-M2068M op-amp. It is a very good high-end op-amp, and make sure this amplifier does the same thing as far as bringing in your signal and keeping that signal as pure as possible before it gets to the actual output. The ADAPT technology is something that allows the amplifier to actually manage the input-output voltage of the amplifier, so that way if the amplifier needs to, let's say if it's in a low volume scenario, the amplifier will lower its power down to a manageable power so that when you need to turn the volume up and access all of the available power, it will switch between what used to be called high current, high power mode, where there used to be switches internally on amplifiers to switch between those modes, where now it will automatically switch between high power and high current mode to produce the power that it's rated at a higher volume. So what that will do is it won't allow the amplifier to pull an excessive amount of current at low volume. Only when you turn the volume up and create that demand for that power will the amplifier then create that much power. All of the speaker terminals are on the speaker and power located on one side of the amplifier, where all of your input section is going to be located on the other for a very smooth, clean installation. The TI2 series of amplifiers also carry over the clip light indicators so that you can set your amplifier gains up properly. They all come with the 5 channels and sub amplifiers in the TI2 series also come with the sub-level control. And every amplifier, like I said previously, all come with the port for the RMD that you can add to monitor the amplifier's voltage also. The next slide is going to give you some internal photos of the TI2 so you can see how well the internal circuit board design is laid out inside of this TI2 model here. Phoenix Gold has always been known for their very clean circuit board layouts and design, and we still carry that on today. We are probably one of the only amplifier manufacturers that still put plexiglass on the majority of all of our amplifiers because we want to show off the internals of the amplifier, how clean the board design is, and it gives you something else that customer can show off. I mean, if you want to get a little custom, we've even seen guys go inside and add LED strips and things like that so that you can show off your circuit boards. Looking internally here, you can see, according to the chart here, where the input section is, where the op amps are located. The input section on the TI2 amplifiers are balanced differential inputs. This will allow you to go directly into the amplifier from a OEM deck just by speaker level soldered into an RCA directly into the RCA input of the amplifier. We do use a very high-end IR Class D chip for these amplifiers. So a lot of Class D amplifiers have had issues with noise, switching noise, FM interference, and things like that. We make sure that our designs do not yield those type of issues in our Class D designs. The post feedback filter also monitors the output to make sure it's as clean signal that came into the amplifier going out to your speakers, along with the same adapt power management system that we talked about previously. The TI2 series of amplifiers, like I said, has been a very high selling amplifier for us because of its power output, its design, and sound quality. TI2 1605 is definitely a leader in its class in that price point of 5 channels. Do you want to add anything on the 1605? No? Good?
Paying attention to trying to get more guys online and stuff.
All right.
Are you going to talk about any other TI amps or just the 5 channel?
Just the 5 channel. We're going to talk about the new amp later. Yeah. All right. Hold your horses. So the SX is going to be the next level of amplifier in our 5 channel selection. The SX is going to be a smaller footprint full range Class D amplifier. The SX 1200.5 is still going to borrow a lot of the technology from the TI2. We make sure that we kind of carry a lot of the same things down. Even though you're offering an amplifier with a little lesser price point, we want to make sure that a lot of the same features carry over and give the installer and customers the options that they really want in an amplifier. One of the most impressive things about the amplifier in this price point is the fact of the power it makes, just like the previous model, the TI2 1605. The SX 1200.5 produces 125 watts by 4 at 4 ohms on the front 4 channels and will produce 400 watts on the sub channel at 2 ohms. Compared to most of the other amplifiers in its power class or price point, this amplifier produces way more power on the front end. Most of the others are going to be 60 by 4, 75 by 4 on the front 4 channels, and normally about 300 watts or so on the back half of the sub channel. We make sure we exceed that for this particular price point. Like I said previously, this is a full range Class D amplifier, so it still carries over the same design like the TI2 as far as having the post feedback filter to monitor Class D noise and efficiency. You're going to have still high-end audiophile grade op amps internally, the same adapt technology that allows the amplifier to switch itself between high power, high current mode automatically according to demands of the listener. The thermal rollback system keeps the amplifier cool as well. The same balanced differential inputs on the SX 5 channel and the sister amplifier, the SX 800.4 4 channel amplifier, also have the same balanced differential inputs. Now the RMD port and the sublevel control are still present on both of these. The RMD is an option you add at your dealer. The RBCF sublevel control comes in the box with the amplifier. All of the high power terminals are the same. All the power and speaker are still on one end, where the RCA's inputs are on the other. All of the amplifiers, even going back to the Elite all the way down to our RX, are all quality control tested at our facility via Audio Precision, which is a very high-tech testing equipment that's used throughout the industry to make sure amplifiers produce the actual power that they are rated and built for. All of the amplifiers also come with birth certificates. One of the things that we do at Phoenix Gold is also make sure that all of our amplifiers meet or exceed their power ratings. All the amplifiers produce anywhere from 10 to 15% more than their rated 4 ohm power. The main benefit of the SX 1200.5 is going to be its unique footprint. It is a very small chassis amplifier. It can be mounted in very tight locations. It can fit under seats. It can go behind side panels. It's not going to be a huge monstrous 5 channel that produces that amount of power. The SX is a very good selling amplifier for us because of that footprint and power output at that price point.